What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of the Hustle Bone podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Sneed. I'm super excited. We got a very special episode for you today. I have a special guest here in the studio, Justin Ortiz. Yo, Justin was my very first business partner ever. We go way back. I'm talking about middle school.
Yep.
When I used to dunk on Justin. You know what I'm saying?
That's false, but continue.
That's all true. But before we get into that, a couple of things. Number one, I want to find out who wrote down your goals. So last week's episode, I had you guys write down your goals and post them on Instagram with the hashtag #TheHustleBone. So definitely going to be looking out for those. Also, my goals for this month, I wanted to share those because one of the things I think is just really cool about this podcast is I feel like it's a way to make me be accountable. You know what I'm saying? And my hustle and the things that I want to accomplish. And so I wrote down my goals. So I'm going to pull my goals out real quick. And one of them I didn't write down. I actually have to remember to write it down. Hold on, I got my trusty pen in my pocket. Shout out to Rob Taylor. There's a reason why I always carry a pen now. I used to never have a pen. Rob was right here. I never had a pen before. But I'm writing down my last one, which is I want to, for the month of March, my goal is to read to my kids 4 times a week. And if you're not watching the video, am I really writing this down?
He's really writing it down.
Because it's not really a goal unless you put it on paper. So read 4 times a week to my kids. All right. So actually, me and my wife, we were talking about that, and we were like, hey, we kind of fell off, from reading to them. So we want to make sure we get back to that. So boom, read to my kids 4 times a week. For the Hustle Bone, right? For the IG, the Instagram page. Shout out to all my new Instagram followers. If you heard of or you got to us through Instagram, I'm glad you're here. But by the end of this month, I want to have at least 1,000 followers on Instagram. Okay. So working on that, you know what I'm saying, trying to crack the algorithm. And then also for my business, my ACM business, which is network marketing, direct sales, my goal is to do at least 5 gas and electric customers per week in the month of March. So at the very least, 20 total customers. So boom, I can't preach it if I don't do it. You know what I mean? So I have to make sure I did that. So boom, we there. And then so all right, let's get to it.
Let's go.
Let's get to it. Justin Ortiz, bro, like it is just crazy, like just thinking back, like when our families used to hang out like all the time, like just literally just every day. We used to hoop, dinner, all of that stuff. Just family, bro.
Yep. Yeah, no, we've known each other for ages. I think since I was like 11 or 12. Obviously, basketball brought us together, and also going to the same church.
Right.
And just us being both super competitive and just being some of the main hoopers at our church, we just used to always go at it.
Right.
And so that...
I mean, I was a winner. You were competitive, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's defamation of character again. I always win. So I was definitely a winner. But we definitely built a brotherly bond all these years, and all the way up until this point. So I'm definitely grateful to have met you at when we were at a young age.
Bro, we done been through some stuff together, bro. It's kind of crazy just thinking about it. So Justin was actually my very first business partner, very first business partner. So much so, to the point. So. On the last episode, I talked about the first network marketing company that I signed up with. This company called 5 Links, way back in the day. So that's not even what I'm not even gonna say what you think I'm gonna say.
Go ahead.
I'm going back further.
Okay.
So the company, it cost $500 to sign up, and I didn't have the cash, but I wanted to sign up. I needed to get the cash. Yep. So there was a friend of my mom's who needed all of this work done on her yard. Remember, Marge?
Yep.
I think she's still alive, so shout out to Marge wherever you at. But because she was old then, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just, that was like, dang, that was like a long time ago. That was 2007.
Yeah.
So I needed to do this work at her house.
Right.
In order to, she was gonna pay me $500 to do this work.
Right.
Yo, Justin pulled up with me every day to do the work.
Right.
And it was mad work.
Yeah.
And I ain't paid Justin nothing.
Not a dime.
I got that $500.
He said, bro, if you just help me with this, let me get the money, and I'm going to pay for this network marketing. And then the next one that we do, you get all the money. And I'm like,
Then
all right,
you can get in on my
let's
team.
do it. Yeah. And then you can get in on my team. Mind you, we never did another one after that. Never did another one after that.
Right.
So
We fell off.
I always
early.
remember that. That drink was hilarious.
Truth, bro. We worked mad hard on that, bro.
Yeah, we had.
We used to be there for hours.
Yeah, so we were clearing out a whole garage full of things.
Her yard was like a forest.
Yeah,
like
it was
that
bad.
junk was literally a forest. So
It was horrible.
that was crazy. But I just like so Justin. When it comes to like the hustle bone, like me and Justin. So our first venture, Generation News.
Yeah.
Like if official, right?
Official, yeah.
Our first official venture, Generation News, was crazy because honestly, it was just we were kids.
Right.
We didn't really know anything.
Yeah.
We just like, we want to do something to change our community. We want to give back. So we like, let's do it through television, through media, let's video.
Right.
And so it's wild, bro. Like, what was one of the in the beginning, right? What's one of the things that stuck out to you the most in the beginning of that process?
Just when we were putting it together, Generation News, I already had my disdain for the media and how it represented people.
Ooh, he said disdain. I got to pause on that. He said disdain. Like, not even like I didn't like it. It was peasants. I loathed the media.
The portrayal of minorities or just like there was always something negative, and I just recall how it all started. You had a friend that had was killed over the summer, and you said something to me. You said, every time kids are doing positive things, there's no coverage, but as soon as somebody gets killed, that's when the media comes out, and tries to shine light on all that negative. And they were like, we should start a positive TV show. And so from that point on, I was like hooked. Like, yeah, let's do this, let's go. And ever since then, I've been on it.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
So we it's wild, like just the ride that we went on. I just think back to when we went to Buffalo.
Yeah.
The TV station in Buffalo.
That's right. I
And
forgot
then
about that.
and then the GM at the station in Buffalo, like he straight up told us, he said, if you guys were lived in Buffalo, I would hire all of y'all tomorrow, and we would run this show in Buffalo. So he actually had connected us up with Chuck Samuels in Rochester, and then we got the show going.
Yep.
And so, but no, it was just magical times.
Definitely. And I just like this being our first time like with any type of business journey, we got extremely blessed because of some of the people that we ran into, starting with like Richard Sampson, with the company that he had. He saw what we were doing, and we just were ignorant to everything. Everything. And so him being a successful business owner, he came to us and he was like, listen, I'm going to just put you guys on with everybody that I do business with. And him being able to help us put together that board of directors, all the filings, to make that happen. Like, we would have never got that. Well, it would have took us a lot longer to get to that point if we didn't have those people, within our team.
Nah, for real. Rich was like our angel, for real.
Yeah.
For real. So that was that was awesome how that all worked out. So boom, right? So basically, with Generation News, we really, like from 2007 to like 2010, I feel like that was our run. We started on the web, and then from the web, getting a TV show.
Yeah.
And we were solid on TV for like a year.
About a year.
And, I remember at that time, like, I really didn't know how to fundraise. So we really had no money. We was pretty much working for free.
Every day.
Right, working hard, too.
Yeah.
And so we did get we had a program with one of like a local work scholarship program, and we made a deal to get paid for that.
Yep.
And then I wrote for a grant. Remember the grant?
Yep.
I wrote for a grant for $10,000.
Yep.
So like I could add that to my resume. I'm a grant writer. But, I don't know how I got it because I really I finessed that.
No, that was clutch.
Right.
That was clutch.
Right. But it just, I don't know. We kind of, people started graduating from college. People were like, hey, I got to, get a job, so on and so forth. So, and I'm going to pass it back over to you. But basically, I got frustrated because I was the executive director and leader. Like, I just was like, this ain't going the way. So I called a meeting to shut Generation News down.
Yeah.
Like, I told Justin, I was like, yo, Justin, I think it's curtains for this. We had a nice run.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. So let's get everybody together and let's cancel this.
Right.
we was canceling stuff before cancel culture.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway, we get to the boardroom. I'm like, hey, we haven't filmed anything in a while. It's just kind of, people need jobs, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
We're not in a position to pay. So, yeah, it's over. And then at that point, it was just like some people like, hey, well, actually some people from the board were like, hey, well, we don't want this to end.
Right.
We don't want this to end. And that's when Justin, when you stepped up
Yeah.
and you really became the leader. So kind of take us from that point, because I walked away. Like I went and played basketball in Europe for a little bit. So, walk us through
what?
after that point, what direction you guys went in and the experience.
So at that point, it was, you said you wanted to cancel it, and I was like heavy into like I really wanted to see something happen with Positive News because I knew that nobody else was doing anything like it, and we had worked so hard up until that point, and I understood the things that you were going through and the things that your aspirations and everything, and so I just didn't want to let it die. It meant a lot to me just because we have brought it from the ground up.
That's a fact.
And so I just stepped in and like, I'll take the reins of this right now and just, start pushing it. And, the people on our board, they stuck with it. And after you left, I think we got on TV one more time for another maybe like 6 or 7 months. But at the same time, we still had the same issue. How are we going to make money off of this? How are we going to get people to fund it? And I think that was our biggest downfall. We just didn't know how to close that gap between the nonprofit and actually getting the funding. But I just remember like at one point it was just me like literally filming, literally editing like day in and day out. And
Justin now hates editing because of Generation.
I outsourced a lot of my editing. So, but it was so much editing. And just the fact that I was never taught to, like, close the deal. Close the deal, get the funding, or even get the grants, so...
It's funny that you say that. That was literally my same problem. Because we knew how to go out and pitch this. We would hustle, right?
Right.
We had meetings with all types of business owners.
Yep.
We had meetings with all types of chairmen of boards.
Yep.
Like, we had a meeting with the chairman of the board of trustees of RIT.
Right.
He loved what we were doing.
Yep.
And we didn't know how to ask him for money.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Yep. So that was the toughest part, but it was a launching pad though, and it was a launching pad for everybody that was a part of it.
Absolutely.
Definitely, from my perspective, I started doing video and editing for it, and so people started seeing what I was doing from there, and then they're like, hey, can you shoot a video for me for my business? Sure. Can you shoot a video for my business? And so I started seeing that there was money to be made in just creating content or creating videos for other businesses. And that's how I ended up starting I Am Enlightenment Productions, which has funded my career or my life for the past, 10 years or more. So the Generation News was definitely a launching pad to my career. So
it's crazy. Like, I agree with that 1,000% because I know for me, I call it my college.
Yeah.
I didn't get a traditional degree, but like, I learned a lot of what to do in business.
Right.
I mean, I learned what not to do. We had some awkward meetings.
Oh my gosh.
Remember the one meeting we had? And we won't say a name of who it was. It was me and Justin and a third party. And this third party was kind of trying to like flex on us, kind of strong arm us to go in a direction we didn't want to go.
Right.
And the person was somebody that, had helped us a lot, really meant a lot to us.
Right.
And so he's in this meeting and I shut down.
Wait.
Complete
We're at
stone
Friendly's.
face.
We're at a Friendly's.
Denny's.
And I'm sitting across from the gentleman. He's sitting on the side of the gentleman. The gentleman's looking at me.
Grilling Justin.
Grilling us, making sure
looking into his soul.
Making sure that we're going to get taken care of. And I guess Daniel had this kick like, whoever talks first loses. And so he shut up.
I knew the silent close before
the silent close. So he shut up the entire meeting. Didn't say anything. And so the guy and me, I was in an awkward position. So I'm like, well, I got to say something. He's looking at me. And so I just started saying, yeah, man, we're gonna like whatever could come to my mind. I was just trying to make the person feel good about the situation while I'm feeling super uncomfortable.
Meanwhile,
matter of fact, he should have told me that was going to be what he was going to do.
I didn't really know. I was just like, I just didn't like what he was saying, and I just shut down. And I didn't know how to finesse to get out of that. So my bad, bro. Years later, I'm sorry, bro.
I accept your apology. Don't let it happen again.
Yo, that was crazy. So, all right, Generation News, you know, it kind of runs its course for you, or you transition some things. So now, and so before we get into the next, you know, talking about your for-profit business, like, yo, so why hustle? You know, because even before we did Generation News, you know, we both was like, yo, we don't want to work no jobs. We don't want to work. So for you, where did that come from, or where do you think your hustle like started? The genesis of your hustle.
So you know, by the time I was 25, I probably had like 25 jobs. Like I was going job to job to job, trying to figure out what was the purpose for my life. What do I want to do? What do I want my career to be?
We worked some jobs together. Remember Frontier?
Yeah. A lot of stories there.
Did you ever get a check from them?
No. No. I might have got a check.
Said their name. That one job.
Hey, bleep that out.
Oh man.
We'll bleep that out. But anyway, yeah, I think I got one check from them, but we'll get into that a whole nother time. But yeah, I had like 25 jobs up until the point of like 23, I want to say. And
I'm about to say 25 was old. It was
yeah,
like 23.
it was a little bit younger. So, and I was just realized like this is not what I want to do. Every job that I was picking was just horrible, and then they were taking so much of my time, you know. And you know, I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time just doing the things that I want to do, and not having that freedom was really hurting me. So once I started doing the video editing, I'm realizing that the amount of money that I make in a few hours off of making a video was basically the same as if I worked a week. You know, I was like, man, I got to start going in that direction.
Right.
But I was still in.
As the children say, it hits different.
It hit. Those checks were hitting different. They really were. They were hitting different. And so I was like, you know, I was still working. I was working at a manufacturing company where I got hired to do video, but the position for video wasn't available yet. So they put me as a mechanic. And anybody who knows me knows I don't know how to fix anything.
That's a true story.
And then they switched me over to be an electrician. Anybody who knows me knows I don't know how to fix any electrical thing.
You gonna die.
Right. So, like, I'd bring my laptop to the job. I'll be editing at the job. Mind you, I had to be there at 4 a.m. in the morning.
I remember this job.
And so
I remember the hatred.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. 4 in the morning, I worked 12-hour shifts, but I would be editing at every break, every lunch break, and to the point where, like, I was like, matter of fact, I got laid off. And that allowed me the opportunity for about 7 months to, you know, focus just strictly on my business. You know, ever since that point, I was like, I know that if I'm not bringing in contracts, if I'm not working, then my family suffers. You know, and so that's where the hustle came from. Like, I had no choice but the hustle.
Right.
You know, my family doesn't eat. There's no boss there to hand me a check when the week is up.
Right.
You know?
Nah, so this is like this phrase. I rather, if I'm a lion, I'd rather starve in the jungle than be fed in the cage.
That's right.
That's what I think about when you said that.
That's
so,
right.
like, okay, so you have I'm Enlightenment, but then also you start Generation Outreach.
Yeah.
You kind of transition. So tell us about the hustle with that, and tell us what you were accomplishing and the work you were doing with that. Yeah,
so Generation News was phasing out at the same time that Generation Outreach was starting. And it was basically we were teaching people about all the positive things that they can do with Generation News. But then I started thinking to myself, well, how can we like really show these kids what they can do? Who's teaching them how to do these things? Because I realized that when I was in college for physical education, something that I didn't want to, any job in physical education, I had no idea why.
You didn't want to be the cool gym teacher?
I don't know why I went for physical education, honestly. But when I started doing the video stuff, I'm like, why didn't I know about video production while I was in high school?
Right.
Because I would have went to RIT and for film and animation and probably got straight A's and got a great job working in film
Right.
on some Hollywood set.
Right.
You know, but I wasn't shown that. And so I realized like there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of kids who go through the same thing. Like they're in high school, everybody's just telling them that they need to go to college. And most of the kids just don't know why they're going to college. They just know they have to.
Right. Or everybody's saying it. Or
Everybody's
like, that's the
everybody's
move.
priming them like, yo, this is what you got to do. You know, and so we all fell for it, and it's good for certain people because
Right.
you
Required for some.
Yeah, it's required for some industries, and you know, I just looked at it as if these kids, if I'm going through it, I know other kids are going through it.
Right.
So why not teach them video production,
Right. Right.
video game design, sneaker creation, like just different careers that kids can get involved with, so that by the time they leave high school, they know exactly what they're gonna do. Are they gonna start a business? Are they going to go into a trade? Are they going to go to college? Now they have real direction with their life as to what they're going to do. And I just feel like if we were to expand that across the nation, like more and more kids will have purpose leaving high school, understanding what they want to do. And so that's been a huge focus of mine. While the video company is running, you know, and getting contracts and growing, I've been focusing on like helping students, you know, figure out what they want to do as a career. You know?
No, that's definitely dope. 1,000%.
Yeah.
So the journey, right? The hustle, right? It's funny because we all have these watershed moments, right? We have these moments that like, yo, we could go back to and say, yo, this moment right here, something changed.
Right.
I know for me, like, and I didn't get into this much on the last episode, the marathon of hoops, like, yo, that was a moment for me where like I knew I was different.
Right.
Like I understood, like it changed I knew that like, yo, just perseverance was the key.
Right.
What was a moment like that for you? Like where you just like where you look back and you say something changed right there? Like what's a moment like that?
So, you know, I got offered a contract. I got offered a contract by the city at one point, and it was to create video content for something that I was against. Just my own personal beliefs. I was against it, and at the time I was struggling in business. You know, we didn't have a lot of money, and you know, I was struggling to pay rent, pay all my bills, and that contract would have been huge for me. It would have taken care of all my bills plus some. Like I'd have been straight, chilling. But it was against what I believed, right? And so I just looked at it as like, you know, the scripture that I love is in my integrity he upholds me, right? And so I was like, I need to keep my integrity even though I need this super bad right now. Right? And so not too long later, maybe like 2 weeks later, I got a call from somebody that there was a contract available for bid. And so I had to go and pitch and do a whole presentation. And so when I did the presentation, the value that I was offering in the presentation was so much greater than what the other people were offering. They loved what I was offering. And so they just told me that the amount you're offering it for is way too small. You know, and they weren't really supposed to tell me that.
Gotcha.
You know, but he just liked what I was doing, and he didn't want to underpay me either.
Right.
You know, so I was looking at myself.
Show love.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm looking at it like, you know, I'm undervaluing myself. And let's just say I went in there and offered them the world for like about $3,000, right? And so when we had the conversation about you need to recheck your prices and what you're offering, I came back and I pitched them $20,000.
My boy.
And they said, and he said yes. And so when he did that, I looked back to the part where I was like, I kept my integrity with the previous contract, and God blessed me with that next contract. I even had favor in the fact that the person was like, "Nah, you're charging too little for that." You know what I mean? So that was huge for me.
Price just went up.
Yeah, the price just went up. My whole mentality about, you know, video production went up. My quality went up because I think after that point, when I got that contract, I went and bought tons of equipment.
My boy leveled up.
I leveled up within a matter of a month.
Minutes.
Yeah, literally.
You went Super Saiyan.
Bro, and so me being able to do that had launched the next 10 years of my career. You know,
That's
and so definitely. And so I think that was a turning point. It made me look at business differently. I would never have been able to get that at any of the jobs that I had. I would have never have been able to get that in so little time. So I think that was a big turning moment for me.
I think that would be a turning point for anybody. You ask someone for $20,000,
Right.
and they say yes.
Right.
I mean, that's huge, especially when, you talked about, hey, you're going to do all of that same work for like $3,000, a couple $1,000.
Exactly.
They're going to be like 20,000. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think that our culture is really craving right now is process. You know what I'm saying? I think that as a social media generation, the instant gratification generation, which is, y'all realize that the Generation X, they always roast us for like participation trophies. They roast us for all of this stuff. Like, and I shout out to my boy JD. I'm not going to steal this credit, but who gave us the participation trophies?
Right.
They did. Who fed us McDonald's so much? You did this to you, or us.
Right.
And so, but now my boy JD, he put that on Instagram the other day. I was like, yo, I never looked at it like that.
So true.
But I think there is like among our generation, there's really like a desire to not only see process, but authenticity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to see authentic process and hustle. And so, what was like a moment for you where it was just like difficult? Like, yo, I know you kind of touched on it with the fact of not taking this contract, but were there any other moments in the process where you just like, I don't know if I can go another day, or where filling out a job application became extremely attractive? Because I know I had some moments like that.
Definitely. So when you're a business owner and you're learning on the go, everything's trial and error. Like, your whole journey is college. Like, that's what's teaching you is your journey. Right. And so getting used to the fact that there may be some months you don't get a check. I had months where I didn't receive a check, but then when I got a check, it was enough to get me through another couple of months. Understanding that and how to plan for those months. I'm definitely have been extremely flawed in this whole situation, just because I'm learning. Even till today, like, I'm still learning how to keep the business going and keep it as efficient as possible. But yeah, that was just the toughest part about it, is not understanding that you might not get paid sometimes.
Right.
And understand.
It's nobody's fault but yours.
It's nobody's fault but yours. And then there were times, matter of fact, like over the past couple of years, there was one time where I had gone longer than expected without that check that was going to be sustainable, and I ended up applying somewhere. I ended up applying at the airport. Bad idea. So
what happened there?
Man, I was waking up at 4:00 in the morning, trying to edit at night, and trying to edit on my breaks while I was at the airport. So needless to say, that did not last.
I remember that, bro.
That did not last.
You was on the struggle bus, for real.
I was on the struggle bus. And it's even so when you go from being an entrepreneur to then working, that's one of the hardest things to do.
Bro, when they try to tell you to do something crazy,
Yeah.
You start, hey, I ain't gotta take this from
nobody.
Nah, actually, I do need this. Actually, yes, I will sweep that up.
Right.
Be right back.
Right. But it's one of the hardest things to go from you being the boss of you and your company, and understanding that 1 hour could equal this dollar amount to now 1 hour equaling this dollar amount. It's so hard to cope with. That's why it's hard for entrepreneurs to go back to work. You know what I mean? So that was the toughest thing for me for those months that I was working there. Is like, I got a check from the business, and I was like, I just made what I made the past 6 months on this one check.
Right.
And I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. It's wild too. Like, a lot of times, and I know me and you, because I know you're a reader. I know I'm a reader. And you start reading and you start learning stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, read enough of the right stuff, maybe you just get a little piece of something, you know,
Right.
just a piece. But that piece, it expands your vision, expands your mind. Like, yo, I gotta do this because this is better than this.
Right.
This isn't bad, but this is just better.
Right.
And so it's like, all right, so we go out here, we want to start these businesses, but we really don't know. Like, one thing in business is like, and you alluded to this, is like, you can't stop.
Right.
You know, what about like dealing with family during this process? Because the one thing that I know from having the hustle bone is that family, especially if they don't have the hustle bone, they don't have that thing that's like, I got to get to it, especially in entrepreneurship. Like, it's very hard for them to understand, like, yo, in business, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there is no, oh, boom, we just got this and we're good.
Right.
No, it's always to the next.
Yeah.
So, like, how was it dealing with, like, the people in your family, you know, your close friends or whatnot, that maybe didn't have the same vision or couldn't see the vision that you saw?
Right. Definitely. Like, I don't think anybody in my family is like, they're not entrepreneurs. Everybody works. Everybody is doing well in what they do, and you know, with business, there's highs and there's lows, and so family would look at the lows, and sometimes they'll be like, bro, you gotta get a job. You know, my family was very helpful at times when I had those lows.
Shout out to the whole Ortiz.
Shout out to the
clan.
Ortiz family. Yes.
Leon, Linda, Jaquise, Jacinda, Jeremiah,
Yep.
and Jaquise. Did I say her first?
You said Jaquise, all right. Jaslyn and
But they not your immediate. But we can shout them out too.
nah, but
they're
Jaslyn
family
definitely
too.
was definitely helpful. So, you know, shout out to my family. But they don't have the same they didn't have the same vision as me. So
it really is different, you know, and
yeah,
it's definitely like, because people, they speak their opinions, and it's like, yo,
right,
and they feel like they're helping you,
right,
and they mean well, but it's like, nah, yo, I just need you to thug this out with me.
Right.
You good, so just know you good. But just, I need you, in order for me to be good, a paycheck isn't going to make me good.
right.
Me getting through this
Right.
is going to make me good. Like, love me how I need to be loved, not how you want to love me.
That's right. And sometimes you just gotta you can't stop them from saying what they're gonna say, or you know, at some point you just gotta block certain things out.
Right.
You know, I just, when it came to business, after a while, I kind of kept to myself on where I was in the journey, so that I didn't have to worry about, you know, those comments of like, you probably should get a job at this point. You know, so you have to just eat that.
Yeah.
You know, thankfully, you know, my wife has been super supportive.
Shout out to Alexis Ortiz.
Definitely.
Go ahead, tell her you love her.
I love you, baby.
Because I messed
I love
up.
you, sugar.
I messed up and didn't shout my wife out, and I still to this day.
Nah, my wife definitely has been, you know, riding with me for the past, you know, we got married in 2008.
Yeah.
2008.
Recession.
Yep. And so we got married in 2008, and so she's been on the
You're supposed
business.
to buy in the recession, right?
There you go.
Recession.
But anyways, like, so she's
Not
seen
that
me
he
at,
bought his wife.
No, I didn't buy my wife.
He didn't
Not
buy
at all.
his wife.
Not at all.
Just
Yeah,
a,
she gotta see this.
just a euphemism.
Yeah. But no, she's been with me for, you know, she's seen my highs and my lows, you know, and we've had issues, you know, but the support has definitely been there. She's understanding the entrepreneurship part of things, and that it is a journey. And then she's an entrepreneur herself, you know, so her starting her own salon, has been huge in her understanding of what it takes to be an entrepreneur.
Right. It's different.
It's definitely different.
It's different. Ain't no. When you work half days,
Yeah.
it's which half of the day
Right.
which 12 hours
Right.
are you working? There is no, go home early. So, man, it's just I love it. So for you, right? I know you guys just moved. You're back in town, handling some business, visiting family.
Yep.
But you're now based in Charlotte, North Carolina. So new city,
New city.
new connections,
Yep.
new networks, new relationships. So what's next? Like, what are you building towards? and ultimately, like, you know, what's the legacy that, you know, you want to leave?
Yeah, so I'm doing a couple of things right now. Obviously, I Am Enlightenment Production has been making me money in Rochester, and so I'm looking to expand I Am Enlightenment Productions in Charlotte, North Carolina, and build some new contacts, build some new contracts, add some more marketing clients. But I would say, my biggest thing, which is my passion, would be generation outreach. Like I want to see careers being taught all over the nation. In every school, the city school district is struggling. I want to see these careers being taught in the city school district. I'm working on purchasing a facility. I want to purchase a facility where we can house all of these programs, where kids can go and sample one by one. Every couple of months they're doing video production, game design. They're going to sneaker creation. So you want to give kids an opportunity to sample different careers.
Right.
By the time they get to 9th grade, now they get to choose. Like, man, I really enjoy doing video production, and so now we put them on a path to creating videos, creating movies, creating TV shows. But we've already discovered what that kid is passionate about. We need to give kids trial and error before it costs them time, as in going to college without knowing, and it costs them money. Right. As in paying for college and then dropping out because you don't know what you're passionate about.
Right.
And so if we can give them trial and error.
Or what can give you a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because even in some cases, there are people that are willing to trade off. Like, hey, I'll do this career, and I may not be in love with it.
Right.
But it gives me the lifestyle to do what I do love.
That's right.
Which is this.
That's right.
And I don't have to worry about making my passion my paycheck.
That's right. Yeah, and I believe that we're saving kids time, a lot of time on their lives, and money. If somebody told me about film, like I said before, I spent 3 years going for physical education. That's 3 years of my life that could have been dedicated to creating business, doing more film, and getting an education in that. And so I'm trying to save kids time, money, and just give them hope for the future. Like, bro, kids have no hope. They look at our streets, look at our schools, look at everything that's available to them. It's like kids don't even look past the next week. Yeah. They're like, what am I gonna figure? How am I gonna get through today? There's no way they're gonna look at what I'm gonna do in the next 5-6 years. And then when I sit down and talk to them, most of them are just saying they want to be an actor, rapper, or basketball player, but they don't know that they can make a full living being a plumber. Like, nobody ever told them you can make 6 figures being a plumber.
Right.
Nobody told them that you can make 6 figures doing contracting work or video. Those things are, when kids put their hands on these cameras, you could be the worst kid. Teachers, you get on every teacher's nerve. I'll get that same kid. They'll sit down in front of a camera and be like, wow. Right. Be the quietest kid. Right. Be super focused. Know exactly what they're doing. It's like, that's not the same kid that was in that environment. And so I'm trying to see more of that, where we can find these kids and put something in their hands that makes them think differently. Right. But if you put them in a square classroom with 20 other kids, with one teacher, that's one size fits all. Right. And I'm trying to, this education revolution, whatever you want to call it, is coming very soon, and I'm trying to be ahead of that curve. So generation outreach is my passion.
It's just it's incredible to see you drive. It's we really got it out the mud together. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And mud doesn't mean we was dirt poor, because we weren't dirt poor. We actually probably were poor as adults. we were, growing up or whatever. Just obviously going through, our own processes or whatever. But as I'm thinking about our out of the mud, do you remember the times, our cars broke down? You remember we broke down in the parking lot of Bathtub Billy's, remember? Yep. And we just left the car. Yep. We walked somewhere. Where did we walk that day?
So we basically had to get some papers into our lawyer so that we can solidify the 501c3, the nonprofit status. Yeah. And Dan's car broke. Your car broke down.
Yo, that
Mind you,
car
we
hated
don't.
me.
I don't even know if we had a cell phone at that point. Did we? I don't know
Nah,
if we had.
I had a phone. I had a phone.
Okay, so
You was the
We
one
just
that
didn't-
was sometimey on the cell phone.
I didn't have free
Yo,
minutes
nah,
or
you
something
know
like
what?
that.
Remember the one time y'all was getting that phone plan, and you was like, "Yo, should we get the data or should we get the text?" Because the data wasn't
Man.
unlimited,
Right,
and
right,
I
right.
was like, "Yo, you should get the text, bro."
Right, and I hated text. I'm like, why does this dude Dan text all the time? Like, I don't even understand that.
This
That's
dude
really
got the
dating myself
data.
right now.
Bro, this dude got the data, and yo, you used to hate yourself, but you used to run out so fast, and we couldn't get a hold of him for nothing. No minutes, no data.
Nothing.
He's a Wi-Fi
So-
warrior.
So, so basically, we had nobody to pick us up. We had nothing. We no bus money, no money at all. And so,
But we was lit. We was excited.
yeah, and the place we had to go was about, I don't know, maybe like 10, 11 miles.
Yeah.
And so we were like, let's just walk.
Right.
And so we
And it
walked
sounded like a great idea.
until we got a quarter way through
Right.
and realized this is a long
Right.
walk.
Right.
So we walking 11 miles all the way to I don't know, Fairport or whatever.
No,
that
it
place
was Toby Office Parkway. So if you're listening to this, downtown Rochester, New York, Toby Office Parkway in Pittsford, New York,
Yep.
you can see exactly
Yep.
how far we walked. That. What was crazy is our accountant, whose office we were going to,
Yep.
who was also on our board of directors.
Yeah,
We got maybe about what? I think we probably maybe was like a mile, 2 miles out.
a mile away.
And yo, we was
The person
Done.
we're going to see to give the papers to drives by us,
beeps and waves
beeps and waves like he sees us every day walking
in Pittsburgh.
in Pittsburgh.
Just-
And
Yo.
he kept going. So
Now, mind you, we like, yo, we got these papers. We're supposed to give them to him.
yep,
And yeah, nah,
we had the hustle bone.
Yeah.
We definitely had the hustle bone right there.
1000%. We
Yeah.
ain't know it was a hustle bone. We just knew we had to get to
Right.
it back then.
Right.
But nah, like I'm excited, you know, just to see where you've grown from. You know what I mean? I remember when like I used to always mess with him because I was kind of a natural on film because when we co-hosted Generation News. And I used to always just be like, "Come on, Justin, speak up, man, bro. Practice, bro. Get better, bro." And I know you used to hate me for it, but I mean, I was just, you know, I was Michael Jordan back then. You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Yo, don't worry about your contract, Scotty. just suck it up and play the game. we got to get these wins."
No, so what Dan used to do,
Oh my
he'd set up
gosh.
an interview with somebody and wouldn't tell me exactly what the interview was fully about or how we're gonna approach the interview. So we're on camera together, but he has all the questions that he's gonna ask this person without telling me what the questions are. And expected me to just come up with something out of the top of my head. And so that
Preparation was key, man.
you were. Now, let me tell you a funny story. We were at Nazareth interviewing Rayvon, and it was Rayvon and
Rayvon
a couple
Higbee,
other
yeah.
a
Shout
couple
out to
other people.
Rayvon.
So we were interviewing Rayvon.
Oh, and Corey McAdam
Yes.
from Fairport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So we were interviewing them on the basketball court, and you had the mic, I believe. You were holding the mic.
Per usual.
Yeah. So my man's holding the mic, and he slowly is inching his way closer to them. I'm in between Rayvon, Dan. I'm in between both of them. Dan's inching his way closer and
God.
closer to Rayvon to the point where I was literally behind Dan while he's
I
doing the
didn't do
interview.
that. I didn't do that.
Bro,
It wasn't that bad.
We still got the footage. We still.
Oh my
So we're doing this whole interview, and I'm behind Dan. Yo, I always remember that. That was hilarious.
Yo, you had to hate me.
Yeah, I didn't hate you. I was getting annoyed, like, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing, but
Man.
you was camera ready.
Ow,
That
I'm
was-
sorry,
that's fun.
bro.
I forgive you, bro. Just don't let it happen again.
Sheesh.
You know,
Wow. Man.
fun times.
Right. We
Fun times.
over here almost to the mid-30s, and we still rocking. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Since kids. But for those of you out there listening, how can people connect with you? You know, if people want to, you know, just hear more about what you're doing, what your business is. Actually, I got listeners in Charlotte, bro. I got
what's up.
I think like 3% of my listeners are in Charlotte. So, you know,
That's what's up.
shout out to y'all. You
Yeah.
need a video connect.
That's
you know,
right.
he's right here. But how can people reach you on your social? Go ahead and throw all of that out there so that people can connect with you.
Definitely. So if you want to reach out to me, you can go to Instagram, official Justin Focus. That's official Justin Focus. Or you can send me an email, imnlightment@gmail.com. imnlightment@gmail.com.
I will put that information in the bio or the show notes for you guys if anyone needs to get in contact with them. So boom. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 3. I've been getting so much love for the podcast.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
pretty
I
dope.
posted a Facebook post today because, number one, Facebook hates on me because I could post anything else besides a podcast. Boom, all types of views, likes, whatever. I post something about the podcast, 3 likes. So I was thinking, like, I don't know if I'm getting through to nobody. Like, I don't know. But I was getting feedback here and there. But I put up a post
You
today
put the
just
link to the
saying-
podcast?
Yeah.
Oh,
Facebook don't like links?
Well, you're taking them away from Facebook.
Ooh,
So
really?
the whole goal of Instagram
Ooh.
and social media is to keep people on the platform. And
They
so
don't like
that's
that.
why, like, if you put a YouTube link, you're gonna get less traffic on. They want you to post the actual video to Facebook to keep people on the platform.
Yo, that's hate.
Of course. And if you post, you're
I
only
never looked
and
at
if
it
you
from
post
that perspective.
videos,
Look at them dropping gym. Hey, yo, y'all catching the gyms, they free.
if you're posting videos on, you can have 1 million followers on Facebook, but they're only going to show it to like 5% of your followers. You know, so you're not even getting full viewership from your following. Like, so it really doesn't matter. What they
That's
want
why.
you to do is they want you to pay them to put your content in front of a certain amount of people, and that's how Facebook makes all of their money. Pay them, and they'll put you in front of however many people you want. So if you want to get put in front of a lot of
Where
people,
Tom at, man?
yeah, Tom was
Let's go get
Tom
Tom,
was the
man.
man.
All Tom
He never
wanted-
did that.
All Tom wanted to do was be your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Mark want that cash.
Exactly.
Mark wants the cash. So,
Yep.
thank you guys for tuning in. This has been a phenomenal episode. I can't wait to just hear the feedback from this. Follow us, The Hustle Bone, Instagram. We have a Facebook page, also facebook.com/The Hustle Bone. Yeah, that's it, man. You got any? I was about to say the final thought, but I don't want people to start thinking Jerry Springer. No one's
Final
about to throw a chair, and Steve Wilkos is not going to save anybody. But no, what would you want to leave with people, just about your story, or just a word of encouragement, a word of advice?
Yeah, no, just if you want to go into become entrepreneurship or start your own business, like, it's all possible. I think we've been fed so much about, like, working at a job. There's nothing wrong with working at a job if it's your passion or if it's something you love to do. But we need to get into the mindset that we can create. We can create, whether it's a product, whether it's a business. We need to change that mindset from going from a consumer to a producer. So if you got an idea, you have a solution to a problem, like, figure it out. Like, we live in this age. Like, YouTube is readily available for us. Google is readily available for us. And I look back and I look at people like Harriet Tubman, bro. Like, she freed slaves with the threat of death, getting taken back into captivity. Being a woman at that time.
Right.
Just on the run, saving so many people. And I look at her and said, like, if she was able to do something as significant as that with the fear of all those consequences,
Right.
I could run a business.
Facts.
I could run a business. Like, I can do it. No matter if I lose money, gain money, lose money, like, I can. If she can do that, listen, we got no excuse at this point.
Bro,
in
we're
time.
talking to people literally on the other side of the world, bro. We got listeners
Exactly.
in Tokyo.
Exactly.
Wild, bro.
Right.
Wow. So look, boom. That's it. That's all we got for y'all for today. Again, we appreciate you listening. Hustlers, keep hustling. This has been episode 3 of The Hustle Bone, and we will see you next week. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Hustle Bone podcast. Until next time, we will see you soon. And please don't forget, subscribe. And if you really love what we're doing, make sure you share the podcast with a friend. Until next time, hustle on. We'll see you soon. Peace.